Welcome back to Goshen Prepping, everybody. I don't know if you know, but besides prepping, which everybody should do besides your regular job, obviously, we own a production company. We make movies. It's a lot of fun. And by the way, I'll link below if you want to check it out. We have lots of behind the scenes. It's just really cool. But anyway, today's video is all based on making movies per se. It's based on Hollywood, or how about the fakeness of Hollywood? Because Hollywood and other YouTube channels, mind you, want you to think that everything's going to be about zombies or an EMP, nuclear war, a collapse of civilization. All those things very well may happen. Well, maybe not the zombie one. Who knows? They're already around, in my opinion. But when we see all those things in Hollywood, it kind of gets us all scared and fearful. And that's why we watch those movies like that. But when it comes to prepping and preparedness, no, that's supposed to be cool, calm, and collected. And even though we may have fear that brings us into the realization that we need to prep, you need to keep the fear out of the prepping. Cool, calm, and collected, a level head is the key. So this video is really essential, by the way. And if you're watching this and staying with it, then you're one of the real preppers, by the way. You're not one of the ones just chasing all these fear things. And we're going to go through some certain things that are far more realistic that's going to happen to you and me than zombies. Again, that's not going to happen at all. But if we see like a civilization collapse or a nuclear war, all those are possible. But these other ones are a very realistic thing that's very much might happen to you. So that's the kind of stuff we need to prepare for, which will also help for those big things down the road too. Number one is simply put a job loss. It's kind of frightening. And I know there's a lot of you out there who already are retired, or maybe you get a certain type of disability, whatever. I mean, you still have to keep in account that that retirement disability may disappear too. Instead of just job loss, how about your income disappears? That's a scary, scary thought. Because here's the thing. That's something we could easily lose sleep about, right? I mean, when you're younger, I remember when I tried to start learning to balance bills and stuff, there'd be times where like, I don't have enough money to pay this bill. And it's kind of scary. And as you get older, we become more dependent on our jobs, right? When you're 20 years old, you lose your job. Oh, well, so much for having out to eat money. But now if you lose your job, you lose your retirement, it could be catastrophic, couldn't it? Absolutely. That's, in my opinion, that's far more frightening than a zombie movie, even though like zombie movies are fun. Because that reality coming through is scary. Could we have a collapse of society later, like an economic collapse? Sure. But it's your job loss in the meantime is something you really have to think about. Number two, bills. Not being able to pay your bills. Obviously, it goes along with job loss, but also goes along with that is not having medical insurance. And I think, I mean, the system's set up, by the way, now this is me as a physician. I'm telling you this, that it's really set up that we don't want you to really think about your own medicine stuff. Leave it to the professionals. Because, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that because the human body is so complex. We still barely know this much about how it works, but doctors do know a lot. And it took years and years and years to become a physician to understand the body and the complexities that we do. But on that same note, the whole medical system is based on they want you to go to doctors for everything. You scuff your knee, oh, go to the doctor. I slept in too late today, oh, go to the doctor. And I'm being facetious, obviously, but we don't have to go to the doctor for everything. And so when you have certain things, it's best if you just learn basic first aid. And I still warn, by the way, of going to like ChatGPT or some type of AI or Googling medical problems. That it can lead down the wrong path. It can. For basic stuff that's not life-threatening, and it's totally up to you if you want to do that. But what happens is the reason that doctors know so much is because we had to learn and know every single medical disease known to mankind. And you learn it in class and say, but you'll never see this, but you still have to know it. So when you come in with a certain particular type of ailment, we can say, oh, this ailment, there's 10 things it could be. It's probably not going to be these two because that's not even in America. And it's probably not this one because it's not whatever. So we start narrowing it down. That's where the practicing comes in. Practice makes perfect. But I want you to understand, and I'm not giving you a license or permission to start practicing medicine on your own. I'm not. But for me and my family, we try not to go to the doctor unless we absolutely have to. And even then, I mean, we do health and wellness checkups, that type of thing. Sure, why not? But I try to handle all the stuff in my house. I mean, there's some people out there who, no matter what happens, they always run straight to the doctor. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. But we're not one of those people. The more you learn about medicine, the better you off you are, the less you're dependent on thinking you have to go to the doctor for everything. There are certain things you have to go to the doctor for. Major medical stuff that's life-threatening, of course. But if you don't know the difference, what's real and what's not, and what's not real, but what's life-threatening and what's not, well, there you go. You have to go to the doctor for everything. So if you do have bills and lose your medical insurance, that's frightening for a lot of people. So I always recommend at the very least, take an EMT course. The EMT course really shows you the real life-threatening stuff and how to handle it. It's fantastic. They're super inexpensive. A lot of times your local fire department will have one, especially if you're in a small town. They're super easy. They're not long. It's like, I don't know, like 8 or 16 weeks. I forgot, but they're pretty short and they really are thorough in a lot of things they cover. I highly recommend that. Number 3, vehicle problems. This is a huge one, by the way. Obviously, you're far more likely to have some type of vehicle problem than having a nuclear war or a zombie apocalypse, obviously. And so, first off, I mentioned before that the majority of Americans don't even keep up on the maintenance of their car, which is bad because this is a huge investment. We're not talking about $5. This is, 20, 30, 40, 50, some of those pickup trucks now, $80,000 investment. You better keep up on the maintenance on that if you wanted to rely, you want to be able to rely on it. But that's the key, right? You don't buy a vehicle typically just for fun. There are some really cool, fun cars out there. Like I love cars from the 50s. You know what I'm saying? That era is just beautiful. But if you depend on your car to drive from point A to point B, you want your car to be dependable to take you to point B, obviously. And it's not just maintenance. Even brand new cars break down. Of course they do. And it becomes a hassle. So here's what we do. Instead of buying a car that's super expensive, we buy older cars that are more reliable. We always go with either Toyota, Honda, or Subaru. All those 3. We've had no problems with any of those. They've all worked out very, 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 very well. But what we do is, we have a few drivers in our house. We have myself, my wife, and I have 3 adult kids who also have cars and drive. And then I have another minivan that we've had forever. It runs great. That's our backup. So if my car's in the shop getting maintained or has a problem, or if my daughter's car, whatever, we just have this other minivan as a backup. It's perfect. And that I'm here to think, well, how can you afford those cars? Because I paid cash for 2 cars at a fraction of the price what you'd pay for one car that's super expensive, that's newer. Not even just new, but newer. Instead of buying, 10,000, 20,000 for a car, I've got a car. I literally just got a car. It's back into making movies, by the way. I bought a Ford Echo, and it has a lot of miles on it, but it runs like it's brand new. I didn't buy it for the family. I bought it we're making a movie. We need a police car. And by the way, if you go to our behind the scenes, you can see the police car we made. It's really cool. And of course, we have permission from all the local police and sheriffs and stuff to use it in the movie. But $1,300, $1,200, $1,300, whatever the case may be, it runs beautiful. So if I buy 2 or 3 cars at $1,300 and one breaks down, even just dies, that's like 3 or 4 months payment for a regular car, a newer car. I mean, that's just how we see things. It's just, we try to have it so we save money, but still have things that are going to be dependable for us. And these cars have worked well. I've had my Subaru Outback. I bought it during the pandemic, not a time to buy the car, by the way. And it still runs beautiful. No problems at all. My kids have their cars. They all run amazing. My wife has a Toyota. I like her car a lot. It's very nice. Something else that you really want to be able to pay attention to that you do have control over, at least how to react to it quickly, that is far more likely to happen in your world, and that's weather. And again, you don't control weather, but if you see some kind of storm coming, there's certain things you can take into effect. If you see, ready for this, fires heading your way. I know that's not weather, but it's sometimes weather induced, and fires are heading your way. That's far more important to be able to handle that because weather emergencies make up the majority of emergencies when it comes to disaster type stuff for Americans, probably around the world too. Weather's a huge thing. Just keeping an eye on it and be prepared for that is worth its weight in gold. You're far more likely to have some type of weather disaster. In fact, I bet you anything you probably already have than anything else. Same thing with power outages. I've done videos that power outages are on an increase, a drastic increase. And when the power outages do happen, they're not for this many hours, it's this many. It is coming, more and more power outages. Now, are we looking at a total grid down situation? Maybe, maybe not. But if you prepare for the power outage, you're preparing for the major one too. Stop focusing on, the whole grid's going to collapse. It might. We might have an EMP or a coronal mass ejection or whatever. We might. But just prepare for the power outages, which guaranteed will happen to you. That's prepping. That's preparedness. And last one is a big one, obviously, is inflation. Man, the food prices alone will kill you right now. It's unbelievable how things, as far as food goes, are expensive. And I'll be honest with you, that's the biggest thing you worry about in a civilization or society is food. People don't get food, they start to get angry, or what do they say, hangry. So always look for sales, look for clearance, buy in bulk. There's lots of tricks to it, even with food prices so expensive right now, because I'd rather pay half as much now or yesterday than twice as much tomorrow. And so you may have to be a little more selective or choosy. If this is on sale this week, then this is what I'm going to stock up on. That's the way to go. So look, Hollywood has good movies. And I'll say it again, so do YouTubers, by the way. The YouTubers put just as much fear into this stuff just as the major movies do. At least when you go to the movies, you're paying and you know it's fake. But the YouTubers put this garbage in you. Just prepare for the small stuff and everything else will work out on its own. That's the key. So just remember, the fiction is there to scare you. Could it happen? Sure it could. And again, I'll link below our thing too, but you're much more likely to have a weather event, inflation, or power outage than anything else. So check out our family movie channel type thing. I'll link it below, called the Wormburgers. It's fun, the Wandering Wormburgers. And I'll link it below. But thanks for watching, everybody. Prepare for the small stuff, guys, and just relax. And we'll be able to get the big stuff done if it does come around too. Thanks for watching.